This conference will now be recorded.
So today's topic is retinal arterial obstructions. You know what is the retinal artery, right? Is it a branch of ophthalmic artery? So this is the main artery which gives nutrition to the retina. Through this artery only we'll get nutrition to the retina. Okay. So there are two types of arterial obstructions in the retina. The first one is the central retinal artery occlusion and the second one is the branch retinal artery occlusion. So as the name indicates, central retinal artery is the main artery gets obstructed. And the second thing is branch retinal arteries. From the main artery will get branches, and those one of those branches will get obstructed. So this is about central retinal and branch retinal artery. So coming to introduction, so the retinal artery obstructive disease can manifest in many things. The most common is the central retinal artery obstruction, branch retinal artery obstruction, cilio-retinal, sorry, the spelling is mistake here, cilio, C-I-L should be there, cilio-retinal artery obstruction, combined central retinal artery and vein obstruction, and Cotton-wool spots. Okay, so what is cilio-retinal artery? In 20% of the people, we can see a special artery which is not present in the remaining 80% people, that is cilio-retinal artery. This is present only in 20% of the people. Okay, if the patient is having central retinal artery obstruction and there is no cilio-retinal artery in that particular patient, then the loss of vision and damage to the retina will be more. If a patient is having cilio-retinal artery and he is having central retinal artery obstruction, then there is less chances of damage to the retina because this cilio-retinal artery will supply some blood nutrition to the retina. So patient combined with the central retinal artery and cilio-retinal artery will have less visual damage or less retinal damage when compared to the patient having only central retinal artery without cilio-retinal artery. Okay, so coming to the proper topic, central retinal artery obstruction. So there can be blockage within the optic nerve substance, that is the main central retinal artery, or in the distal to lamina, that is the branch retinal artery. Okay, what is the incidence? 1 in 10,000 will have the central retinal artery obstruction. 57% will have arterial occlusions. I mean, compared to the vein occlusions, usually older adults who are having some history of diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, the most common cause for central retinal artery is atherosclerosis. Okay, so early in the 60s is the most common thing. Male will have more incidence when compared to the females. 1 is to 2% bilateral. Usually bilateral is very rare. The patient will have unilateral only. If the patient is having bilateral, then you have to consider these things: cardiac valvular disease, giant cell arteritis, any vasculitis. These things will usually have with bilateral. So if the patient is having bilateral and having giant cell arteritis as the main entity, then you can say then it is arteritic central retinal artery occlusion. There are two types of central retinal artery occlusions, non-arteritic and second one is arteritic. So non-arteritic, usually the cause will be emboli, which leads to further atherosclerosis. This is the main common cause, which is most common is non-arteritic. If the patient is having arteritic central retinal artery occlusion, then always search for giant cell arteritis. Okay, if you have any doubts in the between, you can ask. Coming to clinical features, always remember central retinal artery occlusion is an ocular emergency. You have to start treatment within hour or within 18 hours because the patient will have complete loss of vision once the patient is having central retinal artery occlusion. So the patient comes with a sudden painless loss of vision. So one of the most common causes of sudden painless loss of vision is central retinal artery occlusion. Okay, within seconds, the patient will sleep. Next day morning, the patient will not have any vision. Okay, so preceding history of emeropsis fugax, which means there will be a wind. If you see, if you close a curtain of a window, how it appears, it will close slowly like the patient. This patient will have the closure of the vision like a curtain. Okay, so the patient will have relative afferent pupillary defect, which is called as RAPD, and the anterior segment will be completely normal. Okay, the anterior segment will be completely normal. So this is all about clinical features. So continue, the vision will have, you can see the patient will have counting fingers to perception of light vision. Okay. So some patients will not have even perception of light because there is damage even to the optic nerve, because central retinal artery is main artery which supplies the retina. So there will be damage to the optic nerve and choroid also. So the fovea is paired if there is retinal artery, usually in 10 to 20% of patients. Visual acuity will be 20 by 14, 80% after 2 weeks. Once the obstruction is released, again the nutrition is given to the retina by the central retinal artery. So again, the patient will have recovery of the vision in few people. You can see the patient will have central vision like this if there is retinal artery sparing. Okay. So clinical features in the posterior segment, how the retina appears, because I told you the retina will get the nutrition from the central retinal artery. Once there is no nutrition to the central retinal artery, there will be swelling of the retina. There will be edema of the retina. So you can see the normal retina. Here it is orangish red in color, whatever the color it is, you can see here it is reddish orange in color, but here you can see it is pale color. Okay, so in this part the retina will appear pale color. Okay, why there is pale color? Because there is no nutrition, there will be ischemia. Okay, because the central retinal artery supplies the inner retinal part, the most commonly damaged part is the inner retina. Okay, so the outside the macular area there will be less damage. So cloudy swelling, I told you there will be edema, so it appears pale in color. In the center, you can see here there is cherry red spot. The pathognomic of one of the pathognomic features of central retinal artery is cherry red spot. Why there is cherry red spot? There is nothing special about that. Because the remaining retina is pale, the choroidal part of this area will appear more brighter. That's the reason there is cherry red spot. Okay, because if this part is pale, this part appears more brighter because of the choroid backside. Okay, because of choroidal vasculature, this central part will appear more brighter. Okay, so that's the reason we can see retina. Also, there will be some sort of foveal thinning in the central retinal artery occlusion. So other features, there will be attenuation of the arteries. You can see the arteries become very thin here. There will be attenuation of the arteries. Veins also will become thin. Okay. So there will be box carrying of the blood column. There will be box carrying means there will be segmentation. There will be block, flow like that. There will be segmentation of the blood vessel because of obstructions by the emboli. So in the later stages, the opacification, that is the retinal edema, will disappear after 4 to 6 weeks. But because of the lack of nutrition for these days, there will be disc pallor. Okay, the disc pallor will be there, and the vessels also will be narrow because the full flow of the blood vessels will not start. So the vessels also will be narrowed. You can also see there will be retinal nerve fiber layer. Here you can see these whitish lines like things. This is retinal nerve fiber layer. You can even see retinal nerve fiber layer because of the slight pale retina. Okay. Sometimes you can see pigmentary changes over the retina. So what are if there is presence of embolia, I told you if there is embolia, it is non-arteritic type, the prognosis will be very bad. So embolia you are seen in 20 to 40%. If the embolia are of cholesterol, then are called as Follenhorst plaque. If it is calcific, then there will be falcific embolia. Always remember, if it is cholesterol, then if this is a viva question, you will get a Follenhorst plaque. Okay. So coming to cholesterol emboli, I already told you it is Follenhorst plaque. It is the most common. We can see they are small in size, glistening yellow colored. In the vessel itself, you can see they are glistening yellow colored plaques. Usually the obstruction, they will not completely obstruct the lumen. Okay, so atherosclerotic, so ophthalmic artery, these are all the origins for this cholesterol emboli. So coming to calcific, less common, more severe because it completely blocks the lumen of the vessel and they are larger in size, usually originate from the cardiac. So sometimes you can see neovascularization in central retinal artery occlusion in about 20% of the patients. So they develop within 1 to 15 weeks. The normal mean range is 4 to 5 weeks. Okay. So in how many percent neovascularization of the disc you can see in 2 to 3%. Okay, you can see here in this picture there is blood vessels, tuft like blood vessels. Here also there are tuft of blood vessels. Here also there are tuft of blood vessels. Even on the disc you can see some tuft. Here you can see some tuft of blood vessels. This is neovascularization of the disc. You can see this is iris. You can see blood vessels coming out like this from the pupillary area. You can see these are all neovascularization of the iris. So they will usually with this you can have these also. Okay, so what investigations you want to do for central retinal artery occlusion? The first and the most important investigation is the fundus fluorescent angiography. Why you want to say fundus fluorescent angiography? What we do in fundus fluorescent angiography, in the vein near the wrist we give a dye which will go and reach the central retinal artery, and from the central retinal artery onto the retinal vessels the dye will flow normal. So when there is obstruction, the dye will not flow in some of the vessels of the retina. Because there is obstruction, the dye will stop there. Okay, it will not further flow into the vessels of the retina. Or sometimes there will be delayed filling. If I say, if I told you that the cholesterol emboli, those will not block the lumen completely. So they will flow, but there will be delay in the flow because of the obstruction. Okay, so there will be delay in the arteriovenous transit time, and there will be late staining of the optic disc, complete lack of filling in the retinal arteries in 2% of the cases. Here you can see this is the first phase. Later you can see here, now you can see the dye is flowing like this in few arteries only, few vessels only. These vessels you can see they are still blackish in color. There is no flow in those vessels. But these white vessels you can see there is dye flow, but in these black vessels there is no flow in the dye. You can see there is a delay in the filling of the vessels. Usually between 10 to 12 seconds they should reach, sorry, 20 to 25 seconds they should reach the retinal vessels. But here you can see there is no filling of the dye even the later phases also. So in the late phases you can see there is a dye flow only in few vessels, and these black vessels there is no filling of the dye. Okay, choroidal filling is usually normal because the vasculature of the choroid is normal. Uh, and further we can see visual fields, and the second investigation you are supposed to do is visual fields, and the third one is the ocular tomography. Okay, so remaining temporal iris, choroid nourishing corresponding temporal retina. Okay, small central vision is present if the patient is having retinal artery. Always remember, if the patient with CRAO is having central vision, then you have to guess that the patient is having retinal artery, which will be supplying the foveal region. So that part will be spared. So the patient will be having only central vision, tubular vision. All the vision, peripheral vision will be lost. Okay. Now coming to OCT, you can see this is all edema. This blackish area, what you are seeing here, this is all edema. Okay, there will be edema like this. So what is the basic pathology? So where the site of lesion will be? Lamina fibrosa or its posterior axis. If it is lamina fibrosa, these two sites it will involve. Okay, so what happens in this? What happens in this? There will be a lesion, either it will be in the lamina fibrosa or little bit posterior to the lamina fibrosa. Okay, so what are the systemic association? I already told you the patient will have hypertension, diabetes, carotid atherosclerosis, cardiac valvular disease. All these things will be giant cell arthritis. All these things will be associated with central retinal occlusion. So what is the management? Now you have diagnosed the patient is having central retinal artery occlusion. So the patient comes to you with sudden painless loss of vision, emerosis begats, and on examination you can see that there is either counting fingers or PL. Sometimes the patient will not have, even also will not have PL, and you can see RAPD. The anterior segment will be completely normal. You will not see any finding in the anterior segment except Set relative apparent pupillary defect in the pupil. The pupil will be dilated, sometimes not reacting to light, it will be mid-dilated. Okay. So these are the findings what we see in the anterior segment. So coming to posterior segment, the patient will have main findings are that the pale retina will be there. The brightness and color of the retina will not be there. It will be pale. And in the center, you can see cherry red spot. Sometimes the disc is also pale. And in the later phases, you can see the patient will have pale optic disc. Even the flow is reverted back, then also the patient will have pale optic disc. So there will be more chances of loss of vision in central retinal artery after the patient recovers also. So what are the treatment options? You don't want the patient to lose the vision. You want the patient to have good vision even after central retinal artery occlusion. The first and the most probably this thing is that the patient should come to you immediately. Okay, so the patient arrival is very important in central retinal artery occlusion. The patient should reach you within 90 to 100 minutes, they say, but usually you can take around 4 to 5 hours. The patient should reach you by this time so that you can give treatment immediately. Okay. Okay, so what are the treatment options? So before that, you should have some aim to restore the vision. What is circulation in the whatever block is there, you should remove that block and you should restore the circulation. Okay. So always remember that the patient should get the treatment at least within 24 hours of the symptoms, 24 hours before the symptoms. Okay. So what are the modalities of treatment you have? Ocular massage, carbogen, anterior chamber paracentesis, fibrinolytic agents, and many other modalities. So we'll go into detail. Okay, that is transluminal antiagulator embolysis. So this can be done for both BRAO and CRAO. You'll give a transilluminal antiaglazer to lyse the. You need to lysis the emboli. Okay. So what is the how do you do that? We'll have a fundus contact lens which we keep like on the eyeball, and we'll lysis the emboli which is present in the vessel. The most common complication with this will have vitreous hemorrhage. If you touch any blood vessel which is not, if you touch the blood vessel where there is no emboli, you will have vitreous hemorrhage. Okay. So coming to first one is ocular massage. In and out movement with a Goldman contact lens. You know what is Goldman contact lens? When you are doing gonioscopy, you will have a contact lens. You'll have a lens like this. You have to give in and out movement. Keep the patient in front of the slit lamp. Keep a Goldman contact lens on the eyeball. Just press inside, outside. Okay, with this pressure, because of this pressure, there will be changes in the intraocular pressure and the emboli may get dislodged by itself. Okay, it will dislodge and go along with the flow of the retina. Okay, so we have to how much time you keep pressure for 10 to 15 seconds and suddenly release the lens. So because of the changes in the pressure in the intraocular pressure, so the emboli may get dislodged by itself and the flow may increase. 86% of flow increases with this method. Now carbogen. Second one is carbogen. What is carbogen? It is combination of 95% of oxygen and 5% of CO2. This is a Viva question for you people. What is carbogen? 95% of oxygen plus 5% of carbon dioxide. Okay. Why you use carbon dioxide? It is a vasodilator and it increases the retinal blood flow. Okay. So rebreathing in a paper bag. See how the patient is doing here. There is rebreathing in the paper bag. Take a paper bag, ask it to blow and breathe it. Blow and breathe it. Okay. This is the second option. Coming to the third option is anterior chamber paracentesis. So what happens? What is anterior chamber paracentesis? We'll give it just a stab incision in the cornea near the limbus into the anterior chamber. Near the limbus, we just give a stab incision into the anterior chamber. So what happens when we do that? The aqueous will flow out and there will be sudden decrease in the intraocular pressure. Okay, so when this happens, the perfusion pressure behind the obstruction releases the emboli. Okay, so anterior chamber paracentesis, what we do, just we give a stab incision near the limbus into the anterior chamber. How we give in cataract surgery side port? In the same way, how we give cataract surgery side port? In the same way we give an incision like this. So there will be aqueous outflow and there will be reduction in the intraocular pressure. Now coming to the next one is fibrinolytic agents. Okay, you can give fibrinolytic agents through supraorbital artery. We don't do this usually. Okay, it reaches with systemic administration, and improvement is noted only in 10% or 50% of the people. So other treatment modalities, you can give vasodilators, sublingual nitroglycerin, and systemic anticoagulants. So how do you systematically evaluate a patient after this? Okay, many patients will have usually vascular disease. Always make sure whether the patient is a smoker or a non-smoker. You should ask about giant cell arteritis symptoms. I told you arthritic type is usually associated with giant cell arteritis, usually in older age group. Always record pulse to see any atrial fibrillation and blood pressure. I told you cardiac examination. These are all associated with non-arteritic type of CRA. Always make sure you take a CCG, ESR, and C reactive protein to detect giant cell artery. Or random glucose level, lipid profile, okay, cardiac scanning, all these things are needed in a patient with CRA. Okay. So other blood tests, fasting plasma homocysteine level, thrombophilia screening, PPE, autoantibody, and blood culture. These are all are required for a patient with CRO, but all these things should be done not prior to management. First, you manage the patient and then send the patient for investigation. Because if you wait till the investigations comes, then the patient will end up with loss of vision. First, immediately you do some treatment, ocular massage, carbogen, whatever it is, you do something and then send the patient for investigation. Now coming to branch retinal vein occlusion. What is the difference between central retinal artery and occlusion in branch retinal artery? Here you can see only a sector of or a part of the retina is whitish in color and the remaining retina is normal. Because this branch is having some obstruction, only this part supplying the retina is pale. Okay, you can see only this part is pale. This part is normal. Okay, so presentation usually about 17, sudden painless loss of vision. You can see there will be visual field defect, history of emerosis figures, and transient ischemic attack. 1/3 will have history of cardiac occlusion or hypertension. You can see here in this vessel, you can see emboli is there. And so this part which is supplying is having pale retina. Okay. So funduscopy, localized region of superficial retinal whitening as shown in this picture. Prominent posterior pole along distribution of obstructed vessel. Okay, so 90% in 90% patients temporal retina is involved when compared to the nasal retina. Prognosis is usually good if the fovea is not involved. 80% will have better vision with good vision by 6/9. Residual visual field remains. Even after recovery, the visual field defects remains and the normal retina is present, which is not involved. Posterior segment neovascularization is also seen. Iris neovascularization is also seen. So you can see what is the pathognomic of BRAO? Artery collateral vessels will present. So there will be collaterals between the arteries. Okay, that is the main thing with BRAO. Here in the red, you can see these all vessels are very well filled. Even this vessel which is not filled here also, it got filled up here with a dye. But this part you can see, neither you can see a vessel nor the dye in that particular sector. Okay. Completely why this is black in color? Because of edema. The dye we are not able to see in the posterior part. Okay. Because of edema, this completely it is obstructed. Okay. So that is all about central retinal artery and branch retinal artery occlusions. Do you have any doubts? You can just ask me now. Any doubts? Are you there? Are you people there? Anyone is there? Do you have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Yeah. So all of you keep some your attendance in the chat box now. For the next 2 minutes, I'll take attendance. After that, I'll just close the attendance. Anybody online? Anybody? I'm able are able to hear me? I don't know what is his name. IT ABD. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you just keep in the group that for the next 15 visits, I'll be asking questions. Ask all of them to come online. Like all of them to unmute their this thing.
Okay, ma'am.
Jyoti Prakash.
Ma'am, okay, ma'am. Group లో
Okay.
పెడుతున్నాం.
పెట్టండి. Yeah, all of you stop the attendance. After this, I'll not consider your attendance till now. 2 minutes is over. After this, I'll not consider the attendance. I'm not going to consider your attendance. Kavya, Nyapika, all these people, I'm not going to consider your attendance. Done with your attendance. All of you are in. Don't keep any messages in the chat. I'm not going to consider your attendance. I told you already. So all of you are in. Nobody is online. Unmute your mic. Unmute that. Shall we start? Jyoti Prakash.
ఎస్ మ్యామ్.
అందరినీ అన్మ్యూట్ అవ్వమని చెప్పండి.
మ్యామ్ అందరూ ఒకేసారి చేస్తే డిస్టర్బెన్స్ వచ్చొద్దు మ్యామ్ మైక్స్.
సరే, వాళ్ళని నేను నెంబర్ పిలుస్తాను, వాళ్ళని ఆన్సర్ చేయమని చెప్పాలి.
ఓకే మ్యామ్.
ఓకే. Number 56.
Yes, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
I'm not asking the attendance, ma'am. Is this number 56?
Yes, ma'am. Kavya, ma'am.
Who is Gnapika? I asked 56, not 53. So Gnapika is not there. Okay. So number 118.
Yes ma'am.
There are two types of CRAO. Can you mention them?
Ma'am?
There are two types of CRAO. What are the two types of CRAO you know? They are not in the class. Okay.
Non-arteritic and arteritic.
So what is the difference between non-arteritic and how do you say? So at non-arteritic and arteritic, how they are associated? With what they are associated? Okay. Number 89. Number 89. Number 68.
Ma'am, 89, ma'am.
So number 89. So what are the diagnostic tests you do for CRAO? So number 68. Number 147.
Yes ma'am.
Yeah. So what are the clinical features of CRAO?
Ma'am?
What are the clinical features? What are the symptoms of CRAO?
Visual loss.
What type of visual loss? So you're also not in the class.
Cherry red spot.
What type of visual loss I asked? నేను క్వశ్చన్స్ అడుగుతున్న వాళ్ళు తప్ప మిగతా వాళ్ళందరూ మ్యూట్ చేసి పెట్టండి.
Painless monocular vision loss ma'am.
You're not in the class, right?
There.
Okay. Number 87. 87. Number 103.
Yes, ma'am.
Your name 103?
Sai Teja.
Yeah. Can you tell me some management options for CRAO? We're also not in the class.
Acetazolamide infusion. Ocular massage.
Who told you acetazolamide infusion? Ocular massage. How do you do ocular massage? How do you want to do ocular massage? Okay. Number 12. Number 12.
Yes, ma'am.
What type of visual field defect you see with CRAO with celoretinal artery? Presence of celoretinal artery. You're not in the class, Arnab? Okay. Number 77. Number 77.
Yes,
Number
ma'am.
77. Yeah. So what are where the lesion will be there in central retinal artery? Two positions, the central retinal artery lesions will be there. What are the places where you see lesions? See, if you people are not interested, you can just let me know. I'll not take the classes. I'm going to mark absent for all these people. Number 71. 71.
Yes, ma'am.
Your name 71?
Deepti, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you tell me where the lesions will be present in central retinal artery occlusion? I told two places. Okay. Number 78.
Yes, ma'am.
So your name is?
Sarath Sai Vamsa.
What are the investigations you do for CRAO? Number 78. Okay. So
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
end up the session.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll take my own attendance. People who are not attentive, I'm not going to give them attendance. Okay. Thank you.